I remembered that for a long, long time, I've wanted to unfollow everybody on Instagram. It just felt like something that would feel good to do. And I realized that desire to unfollow everybody on Instagram was similar to my desire to smash my old phone with a hammer. It was this gesture of pulling away, of disentangling myself from this crazy phone addiction. And initially with both of these ideas, there's fear because there's such an attachment to the phone that it's hard to even do one thing that pulls you away. But riding on the high of listening to my intuition by smashing the phone, I finally had the courage to unfollow everybody on Instagram. And I felt all this fear about it, which I think I mentioned in the previous episode. So sorry if I'm repeating, but I felt fear that I was going to lose connections, that people were going to be offended that I unfollowed them, that I was going to miss out on parties, that were posted on people's Instagram stories, that I would lose followers, all of these different things. And the main thing that made me realize, like, the biggest thing holding me back was this feeling that, like, I need to hold on to all these connections with people. But that's actually feeling like I need to be following someone on Instagram in order to maintain the connection is actually devaluing the connection, because whatever moments I spent with these people in real life that got us to exchange a follow on Instagram, that experience, that experience of presence that we shared together, that should be the root of the relationship. And this feeling that we need to hold on to something so shallow as a mutual follow in order to maintain the connection it's denigrating the inherent value of human connection. Like, you don't need that. You don't need that. And you don't need to see everyone from all walks of your life. I'm going to close my door real quick. There was this feeling that, hey, Pocket, there was this feeling that, like, I don't know, say some person, I'll give a random name, say some John from high school that I connected with in one class, say I unfollow him. Will I ever hear from him again? And my honest question is why do we need to hold on to every single person we've ever met? I feel it. I feel this temptation. Like, yeah, these people were special. And I do want to, I want to collect them. I want to grasp them. I want to possess all of this and feel like but that's an ego trip. It's more clinging. And it's like it goes along with the presence thing. Like, if you really start valuing presence, it's like you're gonna really be, the people where love is really flowing are gonna be the people in your immediate community, the people that you end up seeing. And that's a natural process to let social media decide who you're gonna see is, I don't know, potentially taking away from the love that you can be experiencing directly. Who's in front of you? Who do you live with? Who do you spend your time with? And it's like for me, there was an act of faith. It was the people who I'm meant to cross paths with in this life. I will cross paths with them. I don't need to hold on to this shallow thing. So that got me there to start pressing those unfollow buttons, and it was uncomfortable. I would see people, I would be like, fuck, like, this is actually a person I love right now, and I want to see what they're posting. And maybe their account's private, and I won't even be able to see their profile at all. I went through all these uncomfortable feelings, but when I got down to zero, there was this feeling of relief. The feeling of relief came from the fact that this was something I wanted to do intuitively for a long, long time that I had been suppressing. So I was like, oh, like that feeling I can describe as fulfillment when you take an action that you wanted to do. Wow. Anyways, immediately, and I talk about my social media entanglements a lot and how I struggle to be creatively free and how I struggle with seeking external validation. I get down when my posts don't perform well. Immediately, something was lightened with my relationship with social media. First of all, I have no reason to go on Instagram. There's nothing there. There's no feed. There's no stories. It's crazy. It's a crazy sensation. After having spent however many years every day, multiple times a day, looking through everyone's story, looking through everyone's posts for way more time than is necessary to even see all those posts, and then getting into random posts that I don't even care about, it is quite the sensation to open Instagram and there's nothing. And this podcast is an example. I am in overflow with creativity. I just like to express, to share. I like doing this on Instagram still since the unfollow spree, and it's like, it feels lighter. It feels like there's less to prove because now there's no transactional followers. It's like, if you're following me, I imagine something is resonating in some way. And I don't know, this feeling of having unfollowed all my friends, it's like, now I have nothing to prove to them either. Like they're free to unfollow me if they want to. And I have less of this feeling that I'm also speaking to like all these people from my past who know maybe an old version of me. Like that feeling has dissipated. And I think this step has made me feel more creatively free on Instagram, which is awesome. And this brought up another thought of like, why does TikTok feel like a freer place? It's really interesting. Instagram really feels like a place where you present yourself as more of a rigid person, like more of a, not that you're a rigid person, but a more fixed idea of yourself on Instagram. Whereas on TikTok, I feel like people are weirder. Like I feel like a lot of people have TikToks that they actually don't want the people in their lives to see because it's like just a more vulnerable form of creativity. Whereas on Instagram, it's like everyone kind of knows that everyone from their whole lives are going to see it. So it's become very, very rigid, very rigid. And I think since TikTok is more interest based, it really connects people with similar minds. So I don't know. It's like this feeling that on TikTok, people are actually emboldened. They actually find community that does not hold them back from expression and freedom and experimentation and creation. Whereas on Instagram, it's like, I don't know. There is this feeling that I'm putting up a show, that everyone's putting up a show. So that's interesting. But yeah, the unfollower thing, it feels great. Like a lot of these entanglements I have with social media seem to have lightened. So I highly recommend it. If you're struggling with your relationship with Instagram, I highly recommend it. My reasons to go on my phone and do nothing have been sliced dramatically. Yeah, so I'm glad I'm actually taking some drastic steps to battle my phone addiction. So it does feel like something has shifted since that experience I described earlier happened. And I still think it's a behemoth of a monster of a problem, the phone addictions, but I'm glad I at least have more awareness. Awareness is always a good thing. And I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying to be present and not let my phone take me away. Seeking balance. A lot of these entanglements come down to just seeking balance.